I hate that guy, what an idiot, he's an absolute arsehole, I cannot stand him. Remember love and light, okay? He's not going to affect you. Love and light, remember, project love and light to everybody. Nobody's a problem. Bury all those triggers down into the ground. Remember love and light, okay? You don't want to be triggered. That's the last thing you want, to be triggered. But in reality, the only reason you're triggered is because you don't understand love and light yet. This is the spiritual New Age community's idea of what it is to love, okay? But a lot of this stuff, as some of you guys might already know, is fake, okay? Because it's a temporary love and light that people use to kind of mask all these triggers and negative emotions from the childhood that they still haven't processed yet. They still haven't gone back and worked through them yet in the mind to realize who was really at fault, okay? Because all humans are one, okay? Everything happens to you for a reason, and then and whatever happens to you, whatever these triggers, wherever these triggers came from, okay, they've come to you for a reason, because that person who's triggered you also didn't understand love. So it's gone like in generation after generation of triggers, and these people in the New Age communities think they can just join this master's class, do a little bit of meditation, and mask it all with just love and light, okay, until something bad happens, and then they get very angry, okay, and it all comes out again. So it's a temporary fix, guys. And in this video, I guess I just want to talk about some of my experiences with love and light, and how I came to realize real love, because there is a real love, guys. There is real love and light, and there's a fake love and light. But you can only find the real love and light via very harsh experiences, working on yourself a lot of awakening processes, a lot of trauma, a lot of watching other people. It takes time, okay? There's no spiritual bypass that can bring love and light to you, okay? Because it's just temporary. So another thing I want to talk about in this video, guys, is the fact that love is the main power in the universe. Now, some people might think that love is just an emotion that we as humans crave, so we try and make it the most powerful thing. That's why we always try to crave love, okay? Every human craves love. Every human has the need to love others and to love themselves, and for others to love them. But unfortunately, this doesn't happen with most people, okay? Most people in the world constantly try and find love, which is why all these internet dating sites are set up, okay? It's just a bunch of people trying to find love. Then they realize, oh, this person's an idiot that just messed us about. This person is weird. All these things. It's just people trying to find love, because love is all there is. Love is part of being a human being, guys. And what's interesting about this is the fact that this has to happen in order to find real love, okay? Everybody's chasing what they think is love, but with them chasing it, all these negative experiences they're going to have while chasing it, like the relationship breakups and the crazy arguments they have with partners, is all a necessary process to find true real love. And when you find true real love, it is the most powerful force in the universe, because you don't just love somebody else because that's what you want, because you don't want to be alone, okay? You actually love everything and everybody, okay? You love all animals. You'll probably become vegetarian or vegan eventually, because you'll realize you love the consciousness in animals, because you realize them as yourself. You see everybody else as yourself. You get the ability to adapt to social situations, and you can see where there's a lack of love in somebody. You can see where somebody needs love. You can see when somebody's ready for your love. You can kind of navigate through all these and put your love in places where it's needed to help the greater good of consciousness itself, because you'll eventually realize that everybody is you, okay, and everybody's going through the same struggles, the same emotions, and they're all seeking this love, okay? But real love is the most powerful force in the universe. Now, I want to go into a little bit more of why it's the most powerful force in the universe, and it's not just an emotion that we all crave. So during my experience, what I came to realize is eventually, after probably about 30 years of trying to find love in different aspects. And my journey was a lot about finding love, because I'm quite a loner myself, because I only had a single mother, a single parent, and I have no brothers and sisters. I have no family, and eventually I lost my mother. So I've got a lot of loss trauma in myself, and because of this loss trauma, I was always seeking like love from other people. You see, so I went through a lot of years of this, and this is what built me up to who I am today. It was a long journey, guys, but in the end what I realized was that it's all a journey to find true love, which is loving yourself as much as loving everybody else. Okay, and when you do this, you realize that the love that you have for yourself and others is the most powerful force in the universe. Okay, because you realize that anybody who's not given love, the reason they're not given love is because they lack love, and the reason they lack love is because they haven't been given enough love, so they're still on this journey of chasing love. But eventually, when you're chasing love, you realize that it all ends up nowhere, because you're chasing it, and that actual chase of love leads to you getting very tired of it, and it leads to a point where you give up chasing love. And as soon as you get to that point where you give up and you just think, do you know what, like, I don't need to chase this anymore, I'm just going to love myself, I'm just going to accept the fact that I may never find love, like true love. And then once you get to that point, the universe then reacts to that, and then it brings you real love. Okay, then you'll start to meet a partner who's ready for love as well. You'll meet someone who's on the same wavelength, because that's how the law of attraction works. You only attract what you are. So if you're on, like, say, these dating sites and you're seeking love because you're desperate for somebody, you're going to find somebody else who's desperate as well. And because you're so desperate, you're going to have all these issues come up where one doesn't like what the other's doing because they're not giving them enough love, etc. And there's a lack of acceptance in the relationship, and it's only going to break up in the long run. Now, there's exceptions to this. Some people might go on and meet someone who's perfect for them first time. I'm not saying this happens every time, but in general, this is how the neediness of love works as a dynamic as a whole. So eventually you get to a point where you give up and you just realize that the only love I'm going to find is love for myself. And then when you reach that point, then the universe adapts to that, because everything's a reflection of you, and then you'll find that true love as well. But the paradox is, you'll find it when you don't fully need it. Like, this is a big paradox here, guys. When you finally come to terms with the fact that you don't need it off anybody else, it'll come off everybody else. Like, this is crazy. I don't know why it works like this, guys, but it's one of the lessons we're here for. It's one of the things we're here to evolve into in this reality. But the reason why love is the most powerful force in the universe, okay, is because love kills the demon. And what I mean by this is that somebody who's negative, okay, and unloving, which is a lot of people out there in the world, they come from a lack of love, okay? The reason they're negative is because of love, okay? They're trying to find love, and because they can't find it from whoever, from the parents or whoever they grew up with, the ex-relationships they had, because they can't find that love, they're very angry people, and they project that on others, and they're stuck in this trap of karma for years and years and years that comes back and hits them constantly until they eventually give up and learn how to love. But love itself kills that demon, you see, because the demon comes from love, but love itself. So say you've learned real love, somebody comes up to you very negative, okay? If you only give them love from a real place, not from a fake place, because if it's from a fake place, they're going to trigger you sooner or later, okay? There's no acceptance in it, you see, because acceptance is one of the biggest lessons in this. It's going to trigger you sooner or later. So if somebody's coming at you in a negative sense, whatever, or they're being negative, okay, and you only give love, you don't react, you don't fight fire with fire, like most people do in this situation, then your true love absorbs the negativity, okay? Love has the power to absorb negativity, and which is symbolic of the crucifixion. Okay, not many people know this, but the metaphor for the crucifixion of Jesus, forgive them, they know not what they do, is he was being crucified by people who didn't understand love or weren't ready for love. And because of that, that message went out to the world, and it's still he's still one of the main masters of love teachings on the planet today. So love kills the demon, okay? It literally absorbs all negativity. If someone's being negative to you, not showing love, and you only show love back, it can only go so far, guys. Like, they can only be negative so much, and eventually they'll either get tired and walk away from you because they realise that you're too loving and they're not ready for that love, or some of them might even listen to you and think, hold on a minute, this person's given me the love that I never had, that I've never had, which is making me this angry. This is quite rare, guys, because most people on this paradigm have been angry all the time and not ready for love, okay? But this could happen, okay? It could happen, and it will happen eventually. So love is the only thing that kills the demon. I've even heard a lot of, I watch a lot of trip reports on YouTube when people take DMT, have ayahuasca experiences. I think that's just fascinating. A lot of people's experience when they take an ayahuasca, they go to other realms and they experience other entities. And what they say is some of these other entities are not very loving, okay? They're quite evil, okay? Some of these entities. And what's interesting about this is that when these entities come, if you're scared of them, okay, they'll taunt you and they'll really, really go at you and try and make you more scared. But as soon as you let go of fear and just show love to them, they're kind of stunned and they don't know what to do. So they kind of like just run away or disappear because they're not ready for the love either, you see. So if you don't show love to somebody who's negative, you're just going to bounce back that negativity back to them, which then bounces around, because this is what happens when you fight fire with fire. It just creates more fire. So this negativity bounces off people, and this is what you see with a lot of people who are still on this level of awareness where they're not ready for love yet. Okay, something will piss them off. They'll argue with a partner. They'll kind of like the partner will get angry with them. They'll bounce that negativity back, and it just goes bounce to and forth, blah, 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 until somebody who's experienced and knows real love will come along and absorb that, and it's gone. Like, literally, love absorbs negativity. This is why it's the most powerful force in the universe, and also it's one of the only things that doesn't devolve. Okay, once you learn love, you can't devolve back to not learning love. Love and evolution are the only things that don't devolve in this reality. But yeah, that's my experience of love. This took me about 30 years to learn. It's a long journey, guys. But at the end of the day, once you love yourself enough not to need love of anybody else, that's when the kingdom of heaven opens up within you and you receive love from everybody else, because there's no negativity in you to affect others in that way, and no barriers up, okay, to project that negativity back and bounce it onto other people. So a few final thoughts about unconditional love and reaching a level of unconditional love, which most humans, by the way, will never be able to reach. It's extremely rare for a human to reach unconditional love fully 100%, because we're just wired up to be selfish for survival reasons, etc., etc. But you can keep on awakening, getting more and more love by simply just accepting people and things that happen, okay, without being triggered. And every time you're triggered, it's an opportunity to choose love rather than choose anger. You'll probably like mess up quite a few times. You'll get angry about something, and then eventually you remember, oh shit, I should have chose love. This will happen on and off. It's a bit like a pendulum. It'll start happening more, and then eventually, as you practice this, you'll choose love more and more until eventually you'll get to a point where you choose love so much that a lot of the problems and issues in your life will go away. And when I talk about the issues and the problems, I mean the type of issues and problems you'll notice in a lot of other relationships with friends, loving relationships in other people. You'll notice that they're not being loving, and all these issues and problems relating to arguments, etc., will start coming your way, so you can then advise them on how to use love instead of anger, because love absorbs all the negativity. But even that's a challenge, because a lot of people who are not quite ready for love will still have all these issues in relationships, and they'll break up eventually if they don't choose love. I would go so far as to say every relationship will probably eventually end until you're over 50% love. That's just my personal opinion, guys. But going back also on how love absorbs all negativity, I mean, you can learn a lot about love from dogs. Because if you notice, there's a nice cute dog. Dogs have got unconditional love. People beat dogs up, etc., and they still come back with unconditional love. Sometimes if there's two dogs and you show more love to one dog than the other, most dogs will kind of accept that and still love you just the same. Okay, they don't get jealous because they don't have all the toxicity of societal kind of influences, so that they don't think the same as us. They don't have an ego, and because they've got unconditional love, you can be walking down the street with a dog, and a total nutter would be walking down the street looking for a fight, but he'll never ever fight the dog. Do you see what I mean by this, guys? You'll never ever fight a dog, because there's this like sixth sense that something's unconditional. There's like a sixth sense that people have for unconditional love, and if they sense that unconditional love, it instantly stops all the negativity and it kind of absorbs it instead of bouncing it off and causing all this mayhem, which is caused by the ego. So if a crazy person's walking down the street and someone with an ego, they're going to sense that, and they're going to probably go and try and start a fight with the person with the ego, but they'll never ever start a fight with a cute dog or somebody, a human who's got to a level where they've got so much unconditional love, and they'll kind of sense that, and there'll be instantly no bother. I'm getting to levels now where if somebody comes up and threatens me, I can instantly choose love. And you'll notice if this ever happens, it's happened to me one or two times. There's been a little bit of confrontation with strangers and things like that. And as soon as I give them just the look of love, or like just a totally chilled like look, it'll instantly just de-escalate, and they'll actually like just focus on something different, or just walk away. So these are some of the positives of finding true love as opposed to fake love. And the more you practice this, the better you'll get. And look at dogs, guys. Just watch dogs. When I go out, I study dogs. I'll go and speak to dogs. I'll go and like stroke them if I see someone with a nice dog. I'll study its consciousness. I'll see how much love it actually has for its owner and other people. And it is pretty unconditional in most cases, guys. So you can learn a lot from animals with this, but remember that we'll never get to that level, okay? Because getting to that level is extremely difficult as a human, okay? But we can become close, and the closer we become, the more life gets better, because you'll notice all the problems you once had will start disappearing. Life will become more of a joy, and you'll just enjoy your existence even more, because you'll have less of the karma that's created by lack of love, because most karma is created by lack of love, or the misunderstanding of true love. One last thing before I go, I just want to say this as well, guys, because this is important as well. Every form of negativity, okay, even murderers out there are doing it because of love. This is hard to understand for most people, I understand that, but all this leads to love. Okay, somebody who murders somebody else does it for a reason linked to lack of love at some point in their life. And the actual murders themselves, okay, and all these nasty things people do, creates that negative effect which only enforces love more in the long run anyway, because the opposite of love actually enforces love as well. So this whole reality that we find ourselves in now is a duality and an experience that's creating the lesson of love. Okay, in the end, whatever we go through in this life will always end up love. But that's it, guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the next video.